Okay, you got 2 days left. 2 days left. I'm doing partial scholarships, showing people how to make money online, putting you through a 2-month, 8-week boot camp. So I was going to do a whole live demonstration of e-commerce, but I got to go down see my grandma in San Diego. So I'm just going to talk here for a little bit, but I've been blown away by the testimonials in the programs I've put out here, we've been putting out for the last few years. And sometimes people can't get in because they don't quite have enough money. So I want to do, every once in a while, I'll do partial scholarships. So I've had this closed for a while, and I'm going to open it back up. You got 2 more days to decide if you want to get in, and I'll pay part of the cost. But the testimonies are blowing me away. People who are college dropouts like me, or people who are forgotten by society, people who are kind of left behind, you know. The rich are getting richer, partly because if you're born rich and your parents went to Harvard or Yale or a good school, then you get in, you get preferential treatment in the world. And so the world's skewed in a lot of ways, and a lot of people want to change their life and change their income, and they don't really procrastinate, but they're just stuck. So this is for you if you're stuck. It's an 8-week program. I'm going to show you, and I can show you just different businesses that I have. The exact formula, like here's one of the businesses. MentorBox today has done $20,000. That's not a screenshot, that's a live Stripe account. You can see 200 new customers today, or 198 to be exact. We launched a leggings company just a few days ago, a couple days old. Made $159 today, not much. It's a brand new business. We haven't scaled it up yet. But that's for those of you who are new. If you can make an extra 150 bucks a day, it starts to add up. That's, you know, $4,500 a month. So for each of you there's 2 answers I have to people who said, I don't know what to do, how to make more money. What do I do? Whether you're 18 or 80. 2 things. One, I would say start a marketing agency. I've been teaching, I've taught almost 30,000 people how to start their own social media marketing agency from that program that I did a test group, trained people about 18 months ago, made people millionaires. There's millionaires come out of that. There's people going from 0 to 100 grand, making $17,000 a month. So many. If you watch my Snapchat, you'll see how real it is, because people come up to me on the streets. I was in Australia, of all places, in Melbourne, Australia, and I was at a club at 2 in the morning. A kid came up to me, he's like, I make $17,000 a month. I'm 22 years old. So that's my first, and I've got a social media marketing program, and then e-commerce. Those are the 2 things that are the easiest to start, because you don't need a lot of money, you don't need a degree, you just need a willingness to learn, be trained, and a willingness to be open-minded when everybody else is cynical. Those are the best 2 things. I mean, richest man in the world right now, Jeff Bezos, worth over $100 billion, e-commerce. In fact, one of the things you'll learn if you get in the 8-week program is we'll show you how to sell on Amazon, because not everything on Amazon is owned by Amazon. In fact, there's thousands, tens of thousands of individual people who sell on Amazon. They'll sell a protein shake. They'll sell, you know, Scotch tape. I had a friend in Austin, Texas, who sold rubber bands on Amazon. And you don't make much money per rubber band, but people buy a lot of them. And he was making millions of dollars selling rubber bands on Amazon. Now that's more competitive now. He got in it like 5-6 years ago. But there's still things you can do that are not too competitive yet. One of the reasons that I want to create kind of a reason for you to get in is because a lot of this stuff stops working eventually. See, there's no get rich quick, easy, forever plan out there in the world. Because the second it starts to, there is get rich temporarily, but then a whole bunch of people start doing it and it gets too competitive, and then it doesn't work for people anymore. So you have to catch trends early, you know? And you don't want to catch them too early that they're untried and untested, but this stuff's not early anymore. I mean, e-commerce, Jeff Bezos started Amazon in 1994. It was questionable in 94, but it's not questionable anymore. So one of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to put up a link here, and this is where you can go. So if you're We have people on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. There'll be a special link for the scholarship in the title, or you can just go here. You just simply go right here, tailopez.com/online income. So this is a program that's going to specifically teach you how to create online income. Step-by-step, video modules, live training, so all that included. I teach it. My business partner Alex is teaching in there. I've got my past students in there teaching. Samir and Juan teach. They started out with me 2015. We're making $3,000 a month. Now on a good month, they make about $250,000 per month, not $3,000. Now I think they average around 70, 80 grand a month. But that's good, you know. They went from, they're making 20, 30,000 net a month. It's not bad, right? They're only 22 or something. So yeah, Jose Silva on Facebook said there's probably 2 years left to get into the e-commerce business. You'll always be able to get into e-commerce. That's not the question. It's how long will it be profitable or highly profitable? See, you're going to be able to start e-commerce for the next 1,000 years or 100 years, whatever. But the last person to get in, there's going to be no profit margins. You know, you're going to get in and make $10 a year. So getting in, the earlier you get in, the better in general. So that's why I want to create the partial scholarships. Now, a lot of you are procrastinators. Some of you are very fearful people. Some of you have extreme anxiety. You know, I don't try to convince people anymore. When I first started, I used to go online, and once in a while I'll get in a debate with people just for fun. I did one on YouTube that's kind of gone viral, me debating a person. I do that once a year or something, because you can't change people who don't want to change. You can't help people who don't want to be helped. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to, look, here's how the world is right now. That's roughly 7.5 billion people. Right now, a very thin slice right there, 10 people have more money than the bottom 50% of income earners, okay? Bottom income, 50%, so let's say 7.5 billion people are making less money than these 10 people. That's a very astounding fact. Now, making over $450,000 a year in the United States gets you also in the 99.9 percentile. Now, there's different people who have different theories on what the solution to that is. Bernie Sanders says, you know, the solution is more socialism, where you take money from the rich and you spread it around, and different people have some version of that. Different countries have tried that. Other people have the theory that, you know, you raise taxes on rich people. Okay, you can do that. I mean, Apple, they raised taxes on corporations, and Apple just moved outside the U.S. and has, I think, over $100 billion sitting in Ireland. So money moves around. It's not so simple that you can just take money from the rich, because rich people ain't stupid, and they have a lot of money and a lot of power, and they know the loopholes. So when I was poor, I had a solution that's a little different than the average person, which was, if you can't beat them, join them. You ever heard that saying? If you can't beat them, join them. No, I'm not saying everybody needs to be a billionaire. I'm just saying, like, in the amount of time people protest the lack of income equality, you could go out and educate the bottom 50% and have everybody's income raised naturally, without taking from the rich and without taxing. Now, I'm not going to argue. Look, I pay fucking 52% of my income in tax. So don't tell me about raising fucking taxes. How much you want to tax me for? I'll leave California if you raise it any higher. So that's not even a solution. Literally, in California, I'm in the highest tax bracket. When you add in California tax, when you add in city tax, it's over 52%. And some people say, oh, boo-hoo. Well, it's not about boo-hoo. It's about, I'm not stupid. I can move business to Puerto Rico and pay 3% tax or less. I can move to Ireland. And so I'm trying to be fair. I want to pay my fair share of taxes, but you're not going to be able to Just tax rich people to solve the problem. If all the rich people in the world gave all their money, it would only raise people's income like 10 or 20 grand or something like that. It's not enough. Now that 10 grand will be good, but it wouldn't take people out of abject poverty. So the solution is we have to train people. We got to equip people with the tools that they need to make money. I'm going to show you what's happening. Now here's a real thing that I do believe in. So corporations used to take a lot of the money. Forget rich people, rich corporations. I always find it funny, all these very left-wing people who love Bernie Sanders, they have iPhones. Well, Apple's the biggest fucking corporation in modern history, and they're keeping money offshore. So don't tell me you're a hipster with your iPhone and you're really helping the world. But enough on hypocrisy. Corporations own all this money here. Okay, and here's what I'm happy about. I don't particularly love corporations. Yellow Cab, the taxi cab service. It was an annoying company. They did a bad job, and they had a monopoly. Then Uber and Lyft and some other companies run by individual entrepreneurs, although they've now becoming corporations, but they were individual entrepreneurs, they began to take that money, and the Yellow Cab's basically bankrupt. Over 100 corporations have disappeared or are in the process. I think the number is like about 130 companies. Toys R Us, a toy company, 700 stores, I think. They're closing all of them. Now people go, oh, I'm so sad. People are so dumb about economics because of our school system. Why would you be sad? It's a corporation. You know who now is making all the money in toys? Individuals like you who set up their own Shopify, ClickFunnels, or Amazon store. And instead of Toys R Us making money selling tricycles, you can make it. Rejoice that these corporations are going bankrupt. And I'm predicting in the future what's going to happen is large corporations are American Apparel, a large clothing company. They did over $690 million in revenue in their peak. Guess who now is selling clothes? Well, there's still some big companies, but a lot of them are gone, and there's individual people. I got some of my students. One of my students, in fact, is selling women's clothes. He did $1 million. I posted it on my Snapchat. $1 million last month, 300,000 profit. He's an African-American guy. He wanted me to share a picture. I put it all up there. He wanted me, by the way, I'm a mix of everything, so don't anybody go down the ethnic race thing. I'm every race except Asian and Middle Eastern. So I'm going to talk about everybody. So if you get butt hurt, don't get butt hurt. But African Americans and Latino people are the lowest income earners in America. Let's just face it, that's a fact. My last name's Lopez. So I like to see people from that group, African American or Latin, rising up. And he's somebody who's making zero. He follows my programs, went from zero or whatever, couple grand. He made $1 million in clothing, gross sales, and netted around 300, between 2 and 3. I think it was close to 300,000. He sent me the screenshots. If you follow me on Snap and my Insta story, you'll see them. That's an example of that money used to go to American Apparel. That money used to go to JCPenney's and Nordstrom's and Sears. So the real solution is not to go after, in my opinion, individual wealthy people, because individual wealthy people just go offshore. But see, Toys R Us can't take their 700 stores offshore as easily. So there's a competitive advantage that we have to attack these corporations. Not that all corporations are bad. I'm not going to get into politics much, but I'm just telling you my opinion. The solution is for individual people to sell stuff online. That's what I'm doing. Books. I sell books. Mentor Box, like I said, made 20 G's today. I made 1.1 million last month selling books. This is a box of books with some memory tools and kits in there. And we also have an online version of it. And we've got 51,000 people on recurring membership. And me and Alex own it. He's sitting right over there. And we're not a large corporation. You can see on my Snapchat, we don't have 3,000 employees. We do employ people, but we're spreading this thing out because it's like Amazon. A million people can go sell on Amazon instead of one Toys R Us or one Sears. So this is your opportunity to learn how to do that. And I'm going to tell you, the opportunity is there, but if you don't know how to do it, i.e. you have not been trained, I'm assuming the school system you went to did not train you on e-commerce, marketing, sales, on how to make money online, because my school didn't. And no school now is teaching that, I can tell you that. So I've made an online school, and my goal this year is to take 300 people from rags to riches. I'm doing my first 300 dinner. You can't pay to be in the 300, by the way. It's only for people who actually went in my programs and used it to go from rags to riches, either 6 or 7 figures or beyond. So if you want to get training, tailopez.com/online income, because you're not going to be able to compete with the people out there if someone's not guiding you and mentoring you. And this program, and myself and Alex and my business partners and my past students will be your mentors for the next 8 weeks. Give us 8 weeks, we're going to rock and roll. Okay? Give us 8 weeks. Now I'm going to answer some questions. So if you're on my website, you can click the button below. Okay? Click the button below, or if you don't see the link, you can just go there. tailopez.com/online income. Let me answer a few questions, some common questions. So to repeat, you have 2 days, and then I'm going to close up the partial scholarships. The price will go back up to full price. I'm doing this because first of all, I don't want to give it away for free. I gave away 2 billion minutes of YouTube and Facebook videos for free. Interviews with billionaires, Mark Cuban, all this kind of stuff. And that's fine, but I've found that if you really want to test whether somebody's committed to something, money, you vote with your pocketbook, I mean, it's like the military. If you want to know somebody's committed, you sign up for a 4-year contract to the military, and that shows you're truly committed. They don't say, hey, come in if you want to, and then leave whenever. You wouldn't have committed soldiers. In the same way, I'm not going to have you have a contract for 4 years to work with me. So the next best, closest thing is to say, hey, you spend money on sushi, or you spend money on rent, you spend money on all these things that are necessities. But let's face it, we all spend money on stuff that aren't necessities. When I had $0 in my bank account, I went to work. I worked for a guy named Mike Steinbach. I saved up $1,000. This is under that, $500-600. And I spent it all on a program by Corey Rudel, who's now dead, on how to use Google AdWords. And that's what got me to 6 figures. I made a little bit of money. I saved. I slept on a couch in a mobile home till I had enough money to buy a training program. That was one of the first training programs I ever put out on the internet. A lot of people thought it was a scam. So I bought it, and a lot of people didn't buy it. I laughed all the way to the bank. I still laugh all the way to the bank. I'm amazed not more people bought Corey Rudel's program. It doesn't exist anymore. He died in a car crash about 10 years ago. But that propelled me. It took 9 months for me to make 6 figures. And back then, it wasn't even video courses. They're way better. They sent you like a 3-ring binder full of stuff. So you got 2 days to decide. You go to tailopez.com/online income. I'll pay part of your tuition for the program. It's not tuition like college. I'll pay part of the fee. Button below or there. I'll read some of the names of those of you jumping in the program. For those of you who procrastinate a lot, like I said, you shouldn't go in this. For those of you who are highly cynical about life, you should not go in here. Who people are very skeptical, do not go in here. Like, I don't want everybody's money. I really don't. I'd rather have 10 people, literally 30, 40,000 people going to watch this across all this Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and my website in the next 24 hours. And if 10 of them get in that are really committed, I'm happier, because I want everybody to make it through and be invited to my 300 program when you have the results. My 300 program, 300 people I've taken from rags to riches, that's my goal for 2018. It's not money. In fact, I actually made a goal for 2018. I want to make less money than 2017. I made more money in the last years. I'm actually trying to lower my income so I can lower my stress level. More money, more problems at a certain point. Okay? There's levels. You get over $50 million a year, things start getting annoying. You have to have a lot of employees. You start having HR and all that. I don't like that. I'm not a corporation kind of person. I became an entrepreneur so I wouldn't have to wear a suit. So the second I have to wear a suit, I'm like, oh, let me back my income down. What I'm trying to do now, especially with these programs, just give me a whole bunch of success stories. like the dude going to $1 million in a couple months. He made he made $1 million in the last 30 days, which is insane. I'm not going to tell you what he's selling, but he's selling women's clothing. Okay, questions. So I've been saving from the program, but my company shut the doors last Friday. Didn't pay our last week's. Yeah, we have. You'll see there's a payment plan option also. So for those of you who can't pay it all up front, we made a payment plan. So I'm doing everything I can. Like I said, I could just make it free and then the program would be flooded. Our live, the group would be flooded with a whole bunch of people that aren't even going to take any action. People won't pay a little bit of money, they're not going to do it. It's worthless. Seriously, think about libraries. How many people go to the library? Free books? Nobody goes to the library. My grandma goes to the library. She's 100. She still goes to the library. You know what most people do? They buy books. If they really care about a book, they go to Barnes & Noble, they spend $10 a book. Yes, there's free books, but a free book has a psychological effect of you not reading it. Let's face it. If I spend $15, $20 on a book, I'm like, I should probably at least read the first chapter. Go to the library. Do libraries even exist? In colleges they do. But I'm talking about just, like the regular library. I used to go when I was a teenager. But again, Joel Salatin, my first mentor, said people vote with their checkbook. They vote with their credit card. People are voting on being a pessimist, optimist, a procrastinator, or an action taker by how they do stuff. And so somebody said, do I need to have any schooling? Nope. You just need to come from the school of common sense. Okay? Digital Kid says, yes, it's a good resource. A few people go to the library, but not many, as you can see from the comments here. Somebody said bums hang out at the library. Okay? I haven't been in a while, man. I love the concept of libraries, but it's just, yeah. Brandon said it was stated that millionaires have an average 7 sources of income. Yes. What's your question? Sorry, let me read this. Question, good question. What would you say is the most common sources of income millionaires have? So for myself, I have more than 7, but so what I think in the modern day, forget what worked for Rockefeller and Carnegie and 100 years ago. I think what works now is having some online income, okay? If you're not ready to be a full-time entrepreneur, you could have a regular job too. So you have regular day job, online income, and then I think having investments. So that could be stock market, that could be crypto, and then I think real estate. So I think everybody can have 4, okay? And then the thing about online businesses, for those of you who want to go more into it, is me and Alex are working on launching a new business every week, okay? So you can launch 52 businesses because you don't have to buy equipment anymore. You don't have to open a store. You don't have to lease, equipment like if you open a restaurant. So we opened a leggings company, female leggings company. We're hopefully by next week, we'll have the protein shake, my Lean 67 company up. We're launching a fitness website, a fitness electronic fitness, so like fitness gadgets. So we can launch 4 a month. And so each of those become a source of income and it starts to add up. Okay. Do you feel like making mistakes from the get-go is better than not even trying at all? Yeah, so here's the thing about mistakes. You want to make some mistakes, but not so many that it's fatal and you give up and get depressed. So the reason I made this program is to give you the confidence to know you can do this. With our help, with the help of the program, with the help of the trainers, the coaches, the live training that's inside the program, you can have the confidence to do this. If you try it on your own, it's hard. It'll take you an extra couple years. This is a cutting the learning curve, okay? Anyway, I need to leave. I'm going to see my 100-year-old grandma. Yeah. My grandma, I'm gonna head down there. So, what if you're only 14 years old? You can sell online as a newborn baby, I guess, if you can figure out how to use a keyboard. But 14's fine, I guess, as long as your parents say you can or whatever. So go here, click the button below. Tai Lopez, online income. You got 2 days left, depending on if you're watching this live or a replay. And then I'm going to close up the partial scholarships. Okay? Talk to you later. Good night.